Welcome to the Real Deal Smite God Reveal, featuring Zeus. Zeus, the Lord of Heaven.
Make your offerings. Zeus is here.
Oh yeah, new year means new me. I'm tired of all these shitty MOBAs that don't know how to balance their games. I'm off to make videos on the only good MOBA on the market, Dota 2. Now Zeus is a mid-lane intellect nuker who plays most similarly to Karthus from League of Legends and Well, let's stop wasting time and get into his kit. Zeus's passive is no passive. You may be thinking not having a passive is a major downside for a character, but that's until you realize that none of the characters in Dota have passives unless it replaces an ability. It's kinda weird at first, but it's something you get used to after a while. Zeus's Q is Arc Lightning. Zeus hurls a bolt of lightning that deals 145 damage and leaps up to 15 times through nearby enemy units. The ability being able to jump 15 times sounds pretty ridiculous, but the ability can't jump to the same target twice. So what's the point of so many jumps? Is it for when there's 2 minion waves and the whole enemy team at your base? I think you'd have bigger things to worry about at that moment in time. As is, it's a pretty decent ability to lane clear with since you can cast the ability every 1.6 seconds. Although using mana is a major resource in Dota since all the abilities take a lot of mana to cast and the base mana is basically nothing. Yeah, there's a lot of small decision making in Dota 2 and you really need to make all the correct decisions or else you'll get royally fucked pretty fast. Zeus's W is Lightning Bolt. Zeus calls down a bolt of lightning to strike an enemy unit causing 350 damage and stuns for 0.2 seconds. When cast, Lightning Bolt briefly provides unobstructed vision and true sight around the target in a 750 radius for 4.5 seconds. Lightning Bolt can be cast on the ground, affecting the closest enemy hero in 325 range. Zeus's 2 is the worst ability in Smite. It fires out slowly so you can't hit anyone with it, and it doesn't synergize with Haste and Fatalist. That's a huge sticking point for me since I love playing attack speed Zeus and this shitty rework killed it off. This ability is only good to try and get some extra range on your 1, but because it fires so slowly, all the enemies will just run out of the way before the jump can be made. Fuck you, Hi-Rez. You ruined the most fun build for Zeus. Suck my dick. Other than that, this ability is pretty good at setting up for your allies' hard CC despite it being a weak CC in comparison. Zeus's E is Static Field. Zeus shocks all nearby enemy units whenever he casts a spell, causing damage up to 10% of their current health. This passive ability is pretty straightforward and there really isn't much to comment on. It's best to use your abilities as fast as possible to get the maximum amount of damage from the passive since the damage is based on current health, not max health. There are a few details about the passive that the in-game description doesn't mention, like it can still hit enemies that are invisible or in the fog of war, and that on-hit effects aren't applied from this passive. Zeus's ult is Thunder God's Wrath. Zeus strikes all enemy heroes with a bolt of lightning for 425 damage, no matter where they may be. Thunder God's Wrath also provides true sight around each hero struck. If an enemy hero is invisible, it takes no damage, but the true sight is still created at that hero's location. I gotta say I dislike these kinds of ults. I can never find the right time to properly use it. If I use it to kill my lane opponent, it's kinda useless for my other teammates' fights. If I use it as an execute, it never does that much damage. If I use it and I kill an enemy that another player was about to kill, I get flamed for KSing. Even though it's totally worth it. I don't know, I guess I'd rather have an ult that blasts an area than an ult that thinly spreads its damage across everybody. Well, we're not quite done yet. There is an item called, Acanium? Anyway, this thing that gives Zeus a second global ult called Nimbus. Zeus creates a storm cloud anywhere on the map that automatically casts lightning bolt on nearby enemies. This is one of those weird things about Dota 2 you're just supposed to know about before playing the game. Yeah, you gotta do a lot of homework before jumping into Dota 2. Anyway, as is it's pretty good since it lasts quite a long time and acts as a global ward. Although this ult can be destroyed, but it takes either 4 melee attacks or 8 ranged attacks. Now because it casts Lightning Bolt, Nimbus is only as powerful as Lightning Bolt is. So if you never learn the ability but build the item, Nimbus won't do anything. Also that would be impressively stupid to pull off. Well, that's Zeus. As a pure damage hero, he's pretty good. He's pretty simple for newcomers to pick up and he can get snowballing pretty quickly. But his major problem is that he has no mobility, so it's quite easy to catch him out. So keep that in mind, keep your eyes out for ganks and you should be fine. So I hope to see you all for my new series where I'll be taking a daily in-depth review of the brilliance that is Dear Esther and how wrong I was with my original critique.